Hello everyone, today I'm going to be trying out Kaya Bakery, which is an Asian-inspired bakery, and they have many different pop-up locations throughout the Bay Area, and today I'm going to be heading to their Sunnyvale pop-up location. They have all sorts of delectable treats that change every week. This week they have a matcha cookie that uses matcha straight from Uji, Japan, where matcha is really famous and high quality, so that's pretty cool, but they're also really known for their variety of croissants. Today they also have a raspberry lychee rose croissant that I'm looking forward to since it combines some of my favorite dessert flavors together, so let's go. What I already told you is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to their amazing variety of treats. I'm back from picking up our pastries, so let's just get right into it. I'm going to be starting off with their sesame scallion croissant, and I'm pretty curious about this because they use homemade scallion oil in it. I'm really looking forward to this croissant, and it already feels really promising since it seems really light and airy, and it also feels pretty flaky and delicate. This is a fantastic croissant. I'm a croissant snob and this is really great. I love all the different layers. It's so light and airy and every single layer is nice and crispy. It's almost like a puff pastry, it's that flaky. And then I really like the inside because you have a little bit of green onions just spread throughout the middle, and it really adds that nice green onion flavor. And I think right there is where they add the scallion oil since I taste a little bit of flavorful oil on it. Now I'm going to be going for the triple cream Basque cheesecake, and this one I find kind of unusual because of course it's just made with regular cream cheese, but they also throw in mascarpone as well as brie that's come all the way from Normandy, France. I love myself a good cheesecake and I love brie on its own, but I'm not sure how the two combine together, so let's just go for a slice of this. Now let's go for a taste of our cheesecake. The inside looks really interesting because it looks like it's filled with that mascarpone. Wow, I was actually really surprised by this. It is so interesting. It's really rich and creamy. It just has this intense, heavy, buttery flavor. It almost tastes like something I would get in Japan because it tastes like they're using really great quality dairy. And I think that must be the Normandy cheese that's really making a difference. I'm guessing that brie is what gives it an extra rich dairy flavor. But I also love the mascarpone in the middle. It definitely also tastes really fresh, and I love that creamy taste. Another great sign of this is I literally want to finish this slice right now immediately because that's how tasty it is. In fact, if I had it my way, I would want to eat the entire cheesecake right now. It's that tasty. Because the pop-up bakery was at Tea Aussie this week in Sunnyvale, I decided to get one of their tea drinks, so I just went for a classic, which is the jasmine milk tea with boba. Usually I love myself a good boba and I would consider myself a boba connoisseur, but I'll admit I'm not the biggest fan of this. For me, the boba just has too weird of a texture. The outside of it is kind of mushy, and then the inside is a little bit chewy, and I just don't think they go really well together. The boba isn't really what I would call even. Also, the tea part isn't my favorite either. It's very heavy on the tea and it's kind of lacking that milky creaminess. It just feels like it's 3/4 tea, maybe 1/4 cream. But the tea itself isn't too bad. It has a nice bitterness and a nice fragrance. So I guess this might be okay. Just order it without boba and definitely expect more of a tea drink versus a milk tea. Next, I'm going to be trying the matcha cranberry cookie, and this one I'm really looking forward to because they use Uji matcha all the way from Japan, and it's also topped with a little bit of strawberry cream cheese, which I think is kind of interesting. So let's just go for a bite of this. It feels like a very soft and crumbly cookie. Overall, I do love the presentation of this cookie. I like how it's nice and green, and then on top you have that strawberry cream cheese and little cube of butter. But for me, the matcha flavor is kind of lacking. I do taste the bitterness from the matcha, but I don't get that iconic sort of grassy, rich flavor from the matcha powder in there. Although I do know it's in there because I taste that bitterness. It's just not quite there, but I do like the cream cheese on top. It's a little bit tart and tangy, and then that butter is kind of interesting. I actually didn't try any of it, but I think it's supposed to be for when you reheat these cookies and then it'll just melt over the cookie. Next, I'm trying the Vietnamese coffee blackout brownie. So this is a black cocoa brownie, so really intense with chocolate. And then in the middle, you have a Vietnamese coffee cream, and it looks really intense. And I believe I even see bits of coffee bean in there as well. Wow, already this one smells intense. Just as I cut into it, it smells like someone brewed a fresh cup of hot black coffee right in front of me. I mean, you can really smell it. So I'm just gonna take one bite of this because there's gotta be so much coffee and caffeine just in this entire dessert. Personally, I think this brownie is way too intense. I mean, the brownie itself is a little bit buttery and crumbly on the outside, but I can't taste it very much at all. All I taste is that intense coffee flavor. It's really like a punch in the face. It's so overwhelming. I mean, the cream is literally filled with like coffee grounds, so I'm not really crazy about the texture, but it's really gritty and a little bit sandy-like, and not necessarily in a good way either. But you do get little pieces of like peppermint chocolate in there, but it's so faint. I mean, the dominating flavor in here is coffee. So I guess if you're a really big coffee lover and you're obsessed with coffee, then maybe try this. But still, it is so much caffeine in here. It's so bitter and so intense. I mean, I don't even want to know how many coffee beans are in this. Now I'm going to be moving on to the horchata croissant, and this one I'm really looking forward to. This is a croissant with spiced sugar on the outside and the vanilla rice custard in the middle. Let's just go for a bite of this. I love myself a good horchata. This is an amazing horchata croissant. The outside is this perfect, delectable cinnamon sugar, and then on the inside you have the rice pudding, and you have little pieces of rice in there, so I love the texture, and it really tastes like you're drinking a horchata and eating a croissant at the same time, because all the flavors just match together perfectly. And once again, they just do such a great job with their croissants. They're so light and airy and incredibly flaky, and I love the real natural butter flavor that you get with them, and I really like how that goes with the horchata. It's just that buttery flavor along with the rice in there. It just matches together so nicely. This is the last item. This is the raspberry lychee rose croissant. On the outside, it's topped with rose petals. On the inside, you have a lychee cream as well as a raspberry rose jam. And I just think I'm so excited about this because I love lychee, I love rose, and I love raspberry. Let's just go for a bite of this. I already smell the scent of it. I smell the lychee and I smell the rose, and those are two very good flavors combined together. This is incredible. I love the light and airy croissant. Once again, it's amazing. And I love how they put a little bit of rose petals on the outside with a nice sticky glaze just to hold them into place. And then on the inside, you have the lychee cream, which is so smooth and really fragrant and fruity. And then I love the raspberry jam in there. It's nice and tart with an intense rose flavor and a little crunch from raspberry seeds. They do rotate their items out every week, but if you ever see this croissant or if you see that cheesecake, you gotta get it. The other unique thing about Kaya Bakery is that they have these sets every single week. I got their omakase set this week, which came with every single item I got minus the cheesecake, and that's pretty much the only way you can order any items since everything pretty much always comes in a set. So if you're going to Kaya Bakery, you gotta be prepared to try a ton of different pastries. The omakase set was $32 and the Basque cheesecake was $28, so it's definitely a bit on the pricey side, but I'm telling you, it is worth it. I can tell they use high quality ingredients, the craftsmanship is great because everything is made so nicely, and you're really gonna love their delicious and bright flavors. Definitely be sure to check out Kaya Bakery. I'll leave a link to their website in the description down below, and on there you can check out their future pop-up locations. Anyways, I really hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did, give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.